The Federal and Vale Hospital jointly present the Madurai Marathon 2025. This event is co-presented by Walking Shoe Company and powered by PSNA College of Engineering and Technology and Tucker EV Chargers. Run for Bone and Joint Health on Sunday, December 21. Entry is free. All are welcome.
You heard about the debate on ultra-processed foods recently. A significant portion of what we eat every single day could be silently impacting our health. From our morning biscuits to our evening snacks, the consumption of ultra-processed foods is sparking a heated debate. Welcome to Second Opinion, where experts speak first. Recently, an online spat between two prominent doctors ignited a firestorm of discussion around ultra-processed foods or UPF. Someone calls them addictive poison, while some people suggest that monthly nuggets can be enjoyed. But before we get into who's right, do you know what exactly are these foods that have divided the medical community? So what makes a food item ultra-processed? It's not just about canning or freezing. The scientific community uses something called the NOVA classification system to categorize foods based on their level of processing, in which Group 1 includes unprocessed or minimally processed food items, which includes your fresh fruits, vegetables, whole grains, eggs, and milk straight from the source. In Group 2 comes your processed culinary ingredients like oils, butter, sugar, salt, and flour. These are used in small amounts to prepare Group 1 food items. In Group 3, we have processed foods such as simple products made by combining Group 1 and Group 2 ingredients, often through basic methods like baking or fermenting. For example, this includes your bread, cheese, or canned vegetables with salt. And then we have the Group 4, which is ultra-processed foods.
So, if you look at, the whole grains or vegetables, fruits, they are not processed. Just out fresh from your garden, if you eat, it's whole. Next comes basic processing to make the agricultural products into food that is edible. That's basic processing which is required to make it edible. Like sort of milling, removing the unwanted items from the agricultural products to make it edible. That's base level. So that has to happen. And it is important. The next level, as you said, making the food or ready to eat out of or the prior stage, the secondary level of processing, wherein you make bread out of flour. So that's a ready to eat. The next level, wherein you add lot of additives, emulsifiers, even in bread they do add because it has shelf life, right? And ultra processed means adding additives, emulsifiers and ingredients which will add on to taste. It could be high fat, it could be extra salt, it could be extra sugar.
These are formulations of ingredients, often industrial in nature, that you wouldn't typically find in a home kitchen. They are designed for convenience, hyper-palatability, and profitability. They often contain preservatives, emulsifiers, artificial flavors, and colors.
It's nothing but whatever is available on the shelf, like say ready to eat, ready to cook food items like chapatis, parathas, and high salt food like chips, bakery items, and carbonated drinks, flavored milks. These are all called as ultra processed food. Nothing but natural food go through an industrial preparations for making their prolonged shelf life, making it to be more tasty, and for looking as colorful. Like they add additives, emulsifiers, which has an harmful effect.
In urban India today, these foods aren't just an occasional treat. They now deliver a staggering 60 to 70% of our daily calories. Some common Indian UPFs include packaged atta cookies, healthy protein bars, flavored milk, instant noodles, cinema popcorn, and many breakfast cereals.
So you would see ultra processed foods everywhere. If you go to a cinema, you can have a popcorn, which is an ultra processed food. sugary drinks in the form of fizzy drinks are all part of ultra processed food. So what happens is you get a craving for them, you take more and more of these ultra processed food.
So why does this matter? Beyond the debate, a growing body of scientific evidence, BMJ is painting a concerning picture. The impact of these food items being consumed on a regular basis is concerning.
So what happens in the end? Your sugars shoot up, you end up with diabetes in the later on after 2 to 3 years. And when you develop diabetes, you eventually develop fatty liver, and we eventually see a lot of cases of these patients moving on to require a liver transplant. So all this starts with these ultra processed foods. All your fast foods eventually cause a bad impact on your health. And they also have an impact on your gut health as well by decreasing the good bacteria that are usually beneficial for your body.
Doctors say that the rise in cases of young people developing fatty liver is a stark warning. These foods are impacting developing bodies in ways we are just beginning to understand. It's not just about being overweight. The internal damage can have other lifelong consequences like diabetes and hypertension too.
It has a lot of ill effects in the cardiovascular system, particularly giving rise to obesity, diabetes, hypertension, and sometimes prone for cancers. The flavors and the colors which we see in these foods are not good for health. So most of these food can cause GI side effects like Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis. These are all inflammatory disease of the intestines which results in a chronic problems, and particularly the high caloric food leads to a condition called fatty liver disease, where most of the younger populations are affected with that, and they land up with liver cirrhosis.
But is the harm from the ultra processed foods dose dependent? Coming back to the consumption part of it. Do you consume these food items regularly or once in a while? The impact can vary. Let's hear it from the experts.
So, how frequently you have? Do you have it every day? Or is it occasionally when I am left without some food, I tend to pick a ready to eat or ready to heat? Or am I forced to eat only ready to eat, ready to heat foods because I don't have a lifestyle to do my preparation? There are so many factors. Okay, I'm staying alone. I don't have anything to, prepare and eat. So I pick the ready to eat. So that also happens in day-to-day routine. So the frequency of eating is very, very important. Occasionally, if you're eating, the health impact, wherein we relate that with obesity, insulin resistance, increasing diabetes or hypertension, because all these are connected with your sugar, your salt, your fat, which is way high in these ultra processed foods. So, minimize, low to moderation is always the key.
So, what can you do? The first step is awareness on identifying these foods on a crowded supermarket shelf by reading the ingredients list. Generally, fewer ingredients means less processing. And be wary of marketing since natural, healthy, or protein-rich claims can often mask ultra-processed food items. It's about creating an environment where the healthy choice is the easier choice. The debate around ultra-processed foods highlights a critical juncture in our relationship with food. While an occasional treat might be part of our lives, understanding what we are truly consuming and its long-term impacts is vital. It's time to look beyond the convenience and the marketing and demand better for our health. That's all for this episode of Second Opinion.
The Federal and Vale Hospital jointly present the Madurai Marathon 2025. This event is co-presented by Walking Shoe Company and powered by PSNA College of Engineering and Technology and Tucker EV Chargers. Run for Bone and Joint Health on Sunday, December 21. Entry is free. All are welcome.